Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Mondays with Max. As usual, I am your host, Max Voltage. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And for being prompt. You are on time. I appreciate that. All righty, guys, let's see who is here. We have Son of a Rabbit, Burn, Alexander Fleener, Cook 4015, Black Sails, Vinny Del Greco, Dan Bulmer, Steven Cicero, Frogman, Homebrew Crypto, Lesterdog C57, Integra Guy 04. Let's see, Retro Mike Tech. Welcome to the new and improved Max Tax. Just Max Voltage. That's it. That's it. Love the new channel name. Thank you, Black Hat Team. I appreciate that. Need a new logo and new banner. I definitely need a new banner. There's no question about that. That was one of the things I had on my schedule to do this weekend. But hey, you know what? I'll share with you what I ended up doing on my Sunday instead of getting a new banner and a few other things I had planned on doing this weekend. But we'll get into that in just a minute. And last but not least, Nah City. So, oh, and the Toxic Miner is here. Alrighty, guys. Appreciate you guys all being here. So, yeah. Gotta love dealing with customer service at companies. So, and let me get rid of this. I gotta change that to some other window instead of having me be like, anyway, I had Twitch up over here. I have YouTube up over here and I have OBS and it was too much movement. Anyway, so Verizon, as with most customer service, when it comes to either ISPs or cellular companies or phone companies or whatever, their customer service is usually fairly lacking. So I ordered 3 new phones under an incredible promotion that Verizon was offering to certain customers. I don't know how they were defining it, but 3 out of the 5 lines. Sorry, yeah, 3 out of the 5 lines. One out of the 5 lines, one already had a payment plan, so they weren't obviously going to be offered an upgrade. But out of the other 4, 3 out of those 4 actually were offered this $1,000 off, basically a credit over 3 years if you doing a payment plan, 0% interest, all that kind of stuff, for a Google 9 Pro. And so it was a great deal. So I did it first, got my phone, love my phone, absolutely love my phone. And so then I was like, great deal. I'm going to get my son on that deal. Well, long story short, the customer service person on the phone screwed it up. We ended up returning it, which on Sunday I got the restocking feedback. So that was all good on Sunday. That was the first time I requested it. So first request got done. We were good. So his was all set for the most part. We ended up reordering it under my father's line because he had the deal. My son wasn't actually offered the deal, probably because he was already on a Google Pixel, but a much older version. And then my father-in-law also got it. And he got it like a week and a half later. So I got my bill, and my son's phone and my father-in-law's phone both had the rebate on their lines. Mine did not. I looked at the order. It never showed that it was picked up. I'm like, well, I've got it right here. It was definitely picked up. So Friday night, I spent a couple hours on the phone with Verizon trying to get them to straighten it out. They could not. Then they had suggested on Friday night to go to the store. So I went to the store on Sunday. They're like, look, if it wasn't in stock, we would be missing it. So we marked it as shipped. I'm like, yeah, you're right, because I did get an email saying, confirming picked up, meaning that I had received the phone. And so if that's the case, they must have marked it as picked up, but they had a glitch in their system. Anyway, another hour, more than an hour on the phone until I finally got to this very nice woman who was phenomenal. Her name was Michaela. She was great. She heard what I said. She immediately got to work. She's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to, I'm just going to try to do it. So everybody else was telling me you're going to have to wait 1 to 2 billing cycles. Nope. She got on there. She immediately had it where it was visible on my account that I now was getting the credits. And I'm like, well, geez, if that's the case, let's try one more thing that would be nice to fix. So I had to order my son's phone on my father's line. I wanted to get that onto my son's line so that everything matched up. In case my father ever needed to replace his phone, it would just make things easier. So, and she got that done too, moving the credits and the rebates and all that kind of stuff all over, and my bill was showing up correct. I was like, wow. It is amazing when you get somebody that cares and knows what they're doing on the phone, the right things are done. But yet everybody else makes excuses. Everybody else makes excuses. Oh, well, we can't do that. We don't have the ability to do that here. I never buy it. Never, ever buy it. So I just keep pushing until I finally get to somebody that actually cares. And I said, she's like, honestly, I appreciate all the nice things you're saying, but it's not the first time I've heard it. And I said, well, it's nice that people show appreciation, not just me. And she's like, yeah, that's what keeps me on this job, is knowing that I'm doing the right thing and everything. So it was a nice conversation, and it took her probably about 20 to 25 minutes to get everything squared away, but just great. So I finally, Sunday night, I could relax. But anyway, that took a lot of my weekend, a lot of my Friday and a lot of my Sunday. So yeah, I just actually started using Notion as a way to kind of get things out of my brain and know what I need to work on. So what were all the things that I planned on doing this weekend that I didn't get a chance to do? Obviously make the video on this tax thing, which was my top priority to do, and I didn't get to that. I actually did get around to installing remotely, and we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. I haven't done the trading of long-term capital gains, but I also need to figure out how I can define that, which lots I'm selling within Koinly. And I haven't figured out how to do that. So I may end up not doing that and just carrying the long-term capital gains into next year. Yeah. So, one other thing I did do, in an effort to try to make content, I always kind of, I don't know, I get nervous for whatever reason when it comes to live streams. I don't have a problem talking to the camera, knowing that you guys are on the other side. But when it comes to making a video, I don't know what it is. It's part of it's just hitting the record button and getting into a rhythm. But in order to help me get into a rhythm, I do have a teleprompter coming, so that will go over this camera, and it'll, you know, stick out the front between the monitors and everything. That's probably a surprise to my wife, since I didn't tell her that I bought it. It was like $50. Wasn't that much. But it's where I can basically type up, you know, a script, put it on the phone, and there's a way that it like automatically moves at a certain pace. Plus you have a remote where you can control it. So I don't know. There's a lot of cool things with it. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting that tomorrow, getting that set up. I'll work on that on probably on New Year's Day. I'll have that little toy to play with. And you know what? Because I'm going to want to use the toy, I'll actually make content. I know. Shocker, right? So anyway, let me check back with the chat. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash worked in a call center. I know how that game is played. I know the problem with call centers is you have to stay within a goal. It has nothing to do with pleasing a customer, although surveys have something to do with it. But the biggest thing is call time. They do not want you going over or under a certain call time. When I first got out of college, I was in a engineering support call center. And in that call center, yeah, we had one guy who was from Asia, had a very Asian accent. He spoke fine English. There's no problem with his English, but it was accented. And people would just hang up on him. He had the shortest call time of all of us. And so he was taking more calls than the rest of us and getting kudos for management when we're all like, are you serious? Do you not see what's happening? But is what it is. It's definitely a game. But occasionally you get somebody that actually knows what their job is and wants to make sure that the customers are happy. I actually asked her, I said, can you please forward me to somebody that can talk, that I can tell, you know, sing your praises, whatever. And she's like, no, but I can set a call back. So she set a call back and nobody ever called me back. So that didn't make me happy. I'm like, well, now that's just going back to what I normally think of Verizon. They didn't care that they've got this great person who is solving problems for them and solving problems that other agents are creating. So, oh, no, I'm not done talking about mining. It's just that what am I going to do? Say AI, tech, mining, and crypto. It's just too long. I'm just broadening what I'm going to talk about. I will be talking about more tech things that are related to setting up like a home lab type thing, because in essence, you know, that's where the journey has kind of taken me. I'm really not doing any mining at home, but that's not to say that I can't do mining at home. Right now, I'm just doing all AI because that's where the profit is. And I'm enjoying doing that. But when I get the panel upgrade, you know, I've been looking at Litecoin ASICs, like home Litecoin ASICs. I'd love to get a Volk miner. Are you listening, Volk miner? I would love to get a Volk miner. Of course, I wouldn't mind like any of the others, but the Volk miner really kind of piqued my interest, and I'd love to try that one out. But, you know, the home miners, I'd love to have some of those at home. So, no, it's still into crypto, still into mining. Yeah, it's just not that it's going to be the entire focus of the channel. It'll be more broad because I'm doing other things that are helping me be more efficient in how I manage things. So that's what my goal is how can I, like right now, when I'm looking at all my salad rigs, I've got 8 tabs and each one of those tabs is a remote session into that. And I'm kind of like, there's got to be a better way. That's why I was looking at remotely. And remotely works pretty well. I don't know if it was a just coincidence or what, but when I started up those remotely sessions, all the jobs like crashed off of the machines. So it may have just been a coincidence, but I'm still trying to experiment with it by, at a time when I have a lot of jobs on Salad, I want to try putting just a few of the remotely sessions on and see if those specific ones after a period of time like stop and don't pick up another job. So I don't know. I have to kind of look in that a little bit more, but again, I definitely want to do a video on that. I basically set it up on Unraid using their apps. And so it's just set up straight into Docker on them. There were a few kind of gotchas, but I'm going to go through that definitely in a video. That should be, anybody who's interested in that, it'll be interesting. If you're not interested in that, probably not so much.
Max Voltage's daily financial advice.
But not financial advice. No, definitely not financial advice. All right, let me go check up on some of the tags. Let's see. Bacon, eggs. Oh, you said that one already. Minutes for the call. Over that, it's flagged to the supervisor. I know, but is the person happy on the other line? I mean, if you are just like doing small talk, I get it. But if you are actively trying to solve their problem and it's just taking you a little bit to get it done, I just don't see the issue with that. Steven Cicero, my department in Verizon doesn't care much about call time. They don't want the customer calling back. The repeat call is a big thing. Yeah. I mean, I just told you guys how many times I called. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was I spoke to at least 5, maybe 6 people. And once the last person fixed it, never called again. Everything's perfect. But I swear they do this because they figure people will just give up and then they win. Forget it. I'll just pay the darn bill. God, I don't want to be stuck on hold with these people anymore. And the other part that really bugs me, and I know that all customer service centers do this, in the fact that they tell people to be empathetic. I get it. Having empathy is important, but when it is fake and scripted, it's just annoying. Absolutely annoying. All right, that's my 2 cents anyway. Retro Mike, there is no official form, hence why you don't have to actually file it. It's literally just a declaration to protect you from audits of prior tax years. Yes. I don't know what question you were. Yeah, the safe harbor. That's exactly what it is. You can find this a couple of different places. Crypto Tax Girl has one. It works. I'd probably recommend that one over the other ones I've seen. But like I said, if you're using Koinly, and I'm going to go over this tonight. If you've got Koinly, you can declare in Koinly how you want things to be allocated. If you are with CoinLedger says that the letter they provided to you is enough of a declaration. So just by them telling you that this is what they're going to do, then that's what you're doing. And I don't know why Koinly didn't necessarily do that, because they're not allowing options either. They're just allocating it one way, which makes the most sense. So anyway, not really sure about that. Let's see what else. Some remote apps don't work with Salad, like Windows Remote Desktop. I use Tight VNC. It has a view only mode and is a resizable window. Yeah, I know that like Google Remote Desktop has its issues, but it works. The only thing is, if your screen is locked, you need to do a find within your remote desktop window how to do remote Control Alt Delete, and then just cancel, and your window will come alive. I've used that since I started using Salad. I just discovered it. I'm like, oh, that works. I mean, what do you do when your own computer locks? For me, first thing I try, Control Alt Delete. Let's see if it kind of just kicks something into place and starts going again. It rarely works when it's on my computer, but it's just kind of something I've always done. So I try to do it on remote desktop and it works there. Same thing happens, especially if you're using a remote desktop and then doing a remotely session on top of it. yeah, the remotely session will not come up. It'll just come up with a blank screen. But you hit Control Alt Delete, which is at the top menu window. You just hit that and it'll come up. I had a lot of frustration with that when I was trying out remotely. I thought it wasn't working. I'm like, it seems like it's working, but it's not. And then I tried that and boom, it came up. So anyway, that'll all be covered in that video. Hope to do that one on Wednesday. All right, let me go back to the chat. Retro Mike. AI and crypto and mining and tax and solar and NAS and tech. Yeah, you see what I mean? Yeah, there's just a lot of different things I like to talk about. And I think they're all related to anybody that is either doing AI or mining possibly. I mean, obviously mining, not necessarily, but I don't know. I like to dabble in a lot of different things. I get bored with other things. So I like to try new things. Just what makes me tick. All right, let's see. Okay. Vinny Dokarako says, I called insurance companies frequently and usually get a call center in India, and Bab always seems to answer. Trick is to ask for onshore representative. I've never tried that. I mean, that was definitely what I was getting on Sunday night, which it's a Sunday night, kind of makes sense. But that last person was definitely in this country and definitely working from home. There was no doubt. She was keeping it very subtle, but occasionally she would just say a few words to either a child or a pet, and then get immediately right back to what she was doing. So yes, it was definitely, it did not distract from the call. If you're not paying attention, you would have completely missed it. So like I said, it was fine, but yeah, she was definitely working from home. And yet, lo and behold, the person working from home did the best job. Imagine that. Although companies want everybody to go back to the office. Makes me crazy. All righty. All right. Well, let's go over the tax part first, and then I'm going to get into the transplant. Yeah, I'll get into the transplant second. All right. So I actually, for those members, I actually did put a post in the OnlyFlans channel. So I'll read that basically. In short, starting in 2025, basis will be tracked per wallet, not universally, which is how it was done before. Now it's going to be tracked wallet per wallet. On top of that, as I understand it and the way the law was written, everything will have to be first in, first out. So your oldest lots will have to be sold first, which sucks, but that's the way that they're doing it. I don't know why they're doing that, but I still think things might change a little bit. So for those that haven't done it, make sure you make some sort of declaration on how lots cost basis is to be allocated across your wallets. Here are the steps to take in order to be on the good side of the IRS if you care about that kind of thing. Consolidating all coins of a certain type into one wallet. So it doesn't mean everything needs to be in one account or one wallet. It just needs to, all Bitcoin needs to be, or doesn't need to be. It would be good if it was all in one wallet, all your Solana in one wallet, all of your LTC in one wallet. Now, if it's not all in one wallet, you have to decide how you want to allocate your lots. Your biggest holding, you'll generally want to have your lowest cost coins in there. So that's the way CoinLedger and Koinly are doing it. Like I said, CoinLedger is just doing it. Koinly is asking everybody to make a declaration, basically. And like I said, I'll go over that in just a second. And then it says, if you don't want to do this, then you need to specify which lots are in which wallet. If you use something like Koinly or CoinLedger, they will be allocating the lots for you using a rule. Again, lowest cost goes into biggest wallets. If you have small amounts of Solana, ETH, and Polygon spread out amongst multiple wallets, this will be important to make the selection, because they're going to need to know, like, okay, then those will probably get spread out fairly evenly as far as the cost goes on those three, because they'll probably be similar in size. And then, as I mentioned before, CoinLedger has stated that the email they sent to their customers is good enough to satisfy the Safe Harbor Act. Koinly is saying you need to go into your account and make the election, although that was the most recent thing I saw from them. Originally, they were just saying, no, don't worry about it. We'll just take care of it. We're just going to do it. But it's just best to go in and manually make the election. Joker Miner says, so confused. And one other thing to add, just has nothing to do with Safe Harbor, but this is why I was saying I was hoping to sell some Bitcoin. I personally am in the 12% tax bracket. So my long-term capital gains would be zilch. So I wanted to sell and rebuy Bitcoin, most of my Bitcoin that was long-term capital gains, to basically have that all fall under within this year when I know I'm going to be below or I'm going to be within the 12% tax bracket. So I don't know. I got to figure out how to do that with Koinly. I haven't figured that out yet. So if anybody knows, especially people watching after this, put it in the comments. Would really like to figure out how to specifically allocate certain lots. They allow you to allocate things globally with certain rules, but I want to be able to do it on this one transaction. So working on that. So anyway, that is the crux of the whole thing. So now let's go into, let's go into where you go within Koinly. I'm kind of hoping Geek was going to show up, but he did not. But you basically within Koinly, this is basically what it looks like. You have dashboard. You obviously start out on dashboard. I have specifically moved into this screen because it doesn't show values and it doesn't show my name. If I clicked on portfolio, it would show my name. So my real name. So I'm not clicking there. So I basically I was in dashboard. I clicked on settings. It brings up this menu and you click on cost basis. So this is where you set your cost basis and how you want things figured out. I have it set for optimized HIFO, highest in, first out, meaning to try to minimize the amount of gains that I have and maximize the amount of losses if I have losses. So that's what I had set. So you're like, okay, where the heck is it? You need to go to migrations. And I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to do it right now. Click add migration, date of migration, which is obviously going to be the first of the year, and then universal to wallet-based cost tracking. This will take a snapshot of your universal cost basis pools and divide them between your wallets, allowing you to enable wallet-based cost basis option from this date onwards. And then once you click that, it's what are your choices? You only have one. Lowest cost goes to biggest wallet. And then you click save, and now you've got the migration set up. It's literally that simple. So again, you go to dashboard, you go to settings, and then you go to cost basis, and then the migrations tab and add migration. That's it. That's simple. If you do nothing else, that's the thing you want to do. Or if you're doing it manually, or you have an accountant doing all of your cost basis and all that, then have a letter. I mean, if you're working with them, hopefully they're providing a letter for you. But if they're not, Crypto Tax Girl, go to her YouTube channel. She has a video on this with a link to a letter that you can use. So you can try that. Now she says to use highest in, first allocated. Now, I've read the law. I don't think that makes sense because you can't do that. You can't reallocate cost basis to different lots. I don't think that's how this works. So, but I could be wrong. So yeah, there is definitely some discrepancy amongst like Koinly and CoinLedger have been told this, like, hey, there's experts out there saying this, and they're like, no, this is not how it works. So do your own research is really what it comes down to. I'm simply stating like what I have found, hopefully getting you guys to, regardless of what you do, if you want to write that letter and say highest in, first allocated, be my guest. I mean, that at least covers you. Now, if the IRS ever came through and said, hey, we need to know, we need documentation as to how you allocated these things in the change from 2024 to 2025. And if you hand them that letter and they're like, you can't do this, like, well, this guy says we could, and yada, yada, yada. I'm sure at that point, things could be changed and such. But anyway, do your own research, talk to your own accountant, and see what they say to do. But do it quickly, because whatever it is that you put on that letter needs to be documented before the first of the year. Has to be before the first of the year. You need some type of, whether you email it to yourself. I guess there's websites that actually you can do timestamps on documents, by sending it to the website. So I don't know, an email to yourself I would think would be enough of a timestamp. So, but not financial advice. No, definitely not financial advice. So S Chang says FIFO is not a big deal because in the end you have to pay tax on all profit gain. Yes, but here's the thing. I'm in my 50s. I'm 10 to 20 years, depending on what happens in my life, away from retirement. So for me, it does matter, because if you are in a high tax bracket now, you don't want your you don't want your gains. You want your gains to be minimal. When you retire, most people retire on less income. So you're in a lower tax bracket. So that's why you want to basically say, yeah, I'm going to use all that money when I retire. That's my nest egg. So if it's your nest egg, then you let it, you let those gains sit there. You don't take them all. So now, if you're planning on selling sometime in the bull run, you're right. You're going to end up taking all of it in 2025 anyway. But that's the reasoning behind it. So, alrighty. Let's see. Anything else? I'm watching Crypto Glow right now in the other room. What? You're watching another YouTuber? You can watch that after this. Wow. Can't believe you're doing that, bacon, eggs, and hash. Kind of actually bacon, eggs, and hash. Basically, I plead the fifth letter. And in a way, it's just basically saying, look, I said this is what I was going to do, and this is how I want things handled. Because for whatever reason, if you don't, the IRS can basically have their way with you, I guess, with financially, that is. Financially, that is. Decrypted Tax has a form you can fill out. It will generate the doc and email it to you. Yes, that's one. If that's who I think it is, yeah, I actually did that one. But again, I'm just going on this. But I'll have that one as a backup. Like, can I do this? Because I put this here, but I use this service. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. It'll probably never really matter, but. All right. All right. Well, let's start getting into breaking down this thing. So this is the real card, the first card. This is the donor. So we're doing a transplant of the heatsink. Putting everything, although I am going to use the same back plate. When Swam7 put this together, he put the back plate against the heatsink, so the putty basically formed together. So some of the putty was supposed to be on the board, some of the putty was supposed to be on the back plate. They came together. You can't separate them. So I'm using my existing back plate because those pads look better. So all right, let me get the right thing. I got to take the front plate off. Yes, actually, Sunflower Mama is being nice enough to read the chat. So if you do have any comments, you can read them to me. So actually, if you want to tag Sunflower Mama because she will see them, you can do that. That would make sense. Meantime, I will try to be efficient at this as much as I can. I thought about just taking this all off, and then I was like, wait a minute, I don't have any time for that. It was almost time to start. So for those of you that don't know, which I think most of you do, the reason why I'm doing this transplant is because I believe that there is a leak in the vapor chamber on this card, which evidently is not super rare. So I thought, what better way to find out than to actually get another one, another heat sink. They were selling for like $250 on eBay. I did not buy this for $250, thankfully. And it was $250 plus shipping. All right, down to the last screw on this thing. I don't know why, but some of these Torx screws are like really tight, and so they're hard to get the bit in them. Right. That's true. I'm pretty sure I know how to assemble this now. All right, there's this one. Yeah, well, I'm sure these guys will correct me if I forget. Come on. There we go. Did somebody say that? Oh, okay. Who said that? If I get thermal paste on the flannel, it'll come out. No worries. More importantly, don't let the screwdriver slip. Good. Why is there surprising news that's happening right now?
In the world of football.
Oh. Oh, that's right. Is it? No, wait. Who's playing tonight?
Lions 49ers.
Oh, 49ers are winning.
I said I wouldn't tell you any surprising news.
Oh, well, you can tell me that.
Oh, they're winning. The 49ers are in fact winning.
Wow. What's the score?
21-13.
Okay. Well,
Don't say it out loud because people might not be watching it because they're listening to you.
oh, is there anybody who is afraid about getting a score of the 49ers Lions game? I'm guessing not. I'm guessing Vinny has that on the other screen. Pretty sure.
Blacksdale said nothing's wrong with the card, Max. That's FE. Test on 4 mark and see the temperature stable at 50.
Trust me, this card that I'm taking it from was not stabilizing at 50. It was at. I don't want to. Oh, there we go.
I think it stopped at 85.
It was at. When I had it at 325 watts, I basically downclocked the thing, or basically power limited it. It was at 79 to 80 C. If I let it go, it would basically, well, with this paste job that I did, which doesn't look horrible, but doesn't look great either. This one was a little bit worse than the other one. So, anyway. All right. Those look all right. Yeah, see, all these pads look okay. So oh, interesting. I am going to have to peel these off. Although they did. Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, I need to pull these off. Oh, and these do not pull off in one piece. That sucks. Because these were not cheap. Well, maybe I will leave these on, some of these on the board. I'm going to take that one off since I already started to. But I certainly don't want that and putty. Let me grab my spudger and get this one off. Yeah, that stuff is really thin, so it does not peel off very well at all. So I have to figure out, it went, no, it would go that way. I have to figure out which ones I have to take off, that's all. So the top one, so this one and this one, I will leave on. The other two, I will take off. Yeah, except it technically is not from a mining machine. Although it was mining before I stopped it. It was mining Aleo. Oh, wait a minute. Don't do that. That's the one you want to leave on. It's these I need to take off. I need to take off this one and that one because it's, yeah, that one and that one. These are the two I need to make. So that one stays on. All right, let's try this again. So we'll take that one off. Hopefully they were making good enough content. It looked like they were. And right, and that one. Yes. Just making sure I have this right. Yes. Yep. You're not wrong. Definitely not wrong. I will not say anything to that. All right. Well, let's. That's a 4090. This is a 4090. Yes. So you just stick somebody else with the problem. Is that what you're saying, Yusuf? Well, that may be, but I don't want to lose money on the deal. That's for sure. So let me scrape this off as best I can. So I am going to put a thermal pad back on this one. I'm going to scrape most of it off. I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys cannot see that. Sorry. Now you can see it. Yes. Well, when you say ribbon cables, you mean like with risers? Is that what you're talking about, Mad Investor? It's certainly, they're definitely PCIe 4. And they're not, they're Slim SAS is what they are. All right. Actually, it looks not too bad. Now I need to clean off the other thing because the card. Because I'm going to clean them both up at the same time with the same rag. So I do not want to open it up and then let it dry out. There wasn't really much on here, so I didn't put an over amount on that. That's for sure. Squeeze a little bit out the sides, but All right. Then this wipey. Good old Arctic wipe. And I still have one left. Let's get this sucker cleaned off. Okay, you can see both of them. That's cool. I'm not going to worry about that one right now, since that is the bad one. All right, let's. This one should be easy. This one pretty much came right off. It's the nice thing about the thermal pads. You guys recognize that smell? Okay, well, that smell was definitely in here. Let's see how much I can actually get off of this thing. Even though it's probably good enough already, it's just... All right. I can read it, so it is good enough. And let's get a Q-tip so I can wipe this off as much as I can. Keep picking it up from the sides. Do one more wipe. Find a good clean spot. Try not to hit any of the sides. I don't know if it throttles after this. I'll be very upset if it throttles after this. You have no idea. Up to this point, I've like gone through the steps of troubleshooting this. All right, now where is my thermal pad? It's in here. Oh, there it is. And skizzers. I'm just going to cut it all the way through. It's not like that little strip's going to be good for anything. Being connected, that is. All right. Let's see. Good fit. Now let's see if I can actually... I think you did this last time, didn't you? Got the peels off. Want to do it again? First thing, I gotta get this little thing off the side. So, need it off the one side first. Sunflower Mama to the rescue. All right, well, since she's doing that, I'll read the chat. I swear by using acetone on the die, just not anything else. Acetone definitely works. I still think that the MX cleaner doesn't specify what's in it, but it smells like acetone. But bacon, eggs, and hash, I'm blaming you if this doesn't work. Yusuf puts this, all I smell is OG Kush in my house. Okay. Got it. Oh yeah, we had somebody doing that in the bathrooms today. Ugh. I wouldn't blame yourself. You did it all correct. Well, I mean, you would think. Well, she's doing that. Let me. Tweezers? Sounds like a transplant. Tweezers. So while she's doing that, let me clean this up. Okay. Good enough there. What did I do to them?
The tips don't even meet. What the fuck?
I didn't do anything. I don't think you guys heard Sunflower Mom swearing, but
Good.
my son just made the point of, hey, you're only 54 minutes in. You need to be a certain amount in where swearing doesn't really matter anymore. Oh yeah. Okay, so YouTube stops listening after 2 hours.
Tried and true.
Thank you. And then you'll have to get it off the top. Yes, yes they are.
Those are not tweezers anymore. Those are garbage. Too much pressure. Let's try and go with something.
All right. Now see if you can get that off. Oh Jesus. It's taking part of the pad with it.
Yeah, I can't help you because it's hot now. So it's
See if you can pull it off a different corner. Sorry, guys. This is the hardest part when it comes to 7950.
Just do them all time.
All right. Poke those two back down. There we go. Now we're good. Now it's time to put it back on. Now I'm just making sure that I'm putting this on correctly. So we have pads there. Well, let's see, we have pads there. And we don't have pads here and we don't have pads here, but we have pads here and here. I don't know if you guys can't see that. So we have pads here and here, but not here and here because it's going to go like that. So that pad's going to go there, that pad's going to go there, and all the other ones on here. Oh shoot, I got to grab that one. Let's see. That one is this one. Let me put this down. Who said that? Oh, Bleach. Got it. I think he said geek. And I was like, what? All right. Now we got it all in place. All right. So, big thing though is every time you put something in, you got to make sure that all this stuff is outside in the right slot. Not make it outside. Okay. There are certain pins that it has to go in. Now we're in, and all the cables are out, and so we're going to press this into place for a little bit. All right, what else are you guys talking about? A Jacob's ladder. Okay, I'm definitely. You can keep people tuned in by having a fire extinguisher visible in the background. Yes, I know. But hey, you know, everybody wants mining content, right? This one's always fun. That one.
Richie Rocket said set it on fire for the views.
No. Even Panda doesn't set things on fire on purpose. All right. Now we can start putting that thing back on. Like so. Grab the correct screws. Yeah, I can always change the title afterwards. Let's make sure this is the right bit. And it is. First one's easy. The second one, that's hard to get in. Okay. All right. And the last one, then we just tighten them down by doing a couple winds, crisscrossing at all times. I do like 1.5 each time. Last thing, knock something off. And I'd be trying to make friends with Northwest Repair. He says that's his most common repair, is that when somebody is doing something to a perfectly good card and then does that and knocks off a small little resistor. Stop that. Probably. Nobody ever accused me of being handy. You tighten them until they stop on these. There's an actual, like, that's a stop. I know. Like I said, these actually have a stop to them, and you just tighten them till they stop. Or about the stop. I mean, there's like a specific, all of a sudden it starts getting harder. Yeah, you could like tighten them down maybe another 1/8 of a turn, but that makes no sense. None whatsoever. All right. So this was the bad one. And based on the way this looks, there's a bunch of like, and Sunflower Mama had said, there's like pitting on here. So I'm guessing one of these is actually more than just a, well, it's a pit, but it's deeper, and that's where, and if you looked at one of these under a microscope, you'd probably be able to dig at it a little bit, and you'd be able to tell that's which one it was. That's basically what Northwest Repair did, because he was like, he decided to look at it, and they looked at the cold plate underneath a microscope, and then he's like, oh, what's this? And then he starts kind of just picking at it, and like stuff starts coming out of it. Okay. Yeah, now it's like, wait a minute, how do you put this thing back together again? Now I remember that I need to put this on next. Actually, not really that hard. This is probably one of the easier cards to actually put back together. There aren't that many screws, so this one, I need the bigger bit. That's the smaller one. Where'd the bigger bit go? Crap. Have to find the bigger bit. There it is. Right there. Yep, that's the right size. I always do this one first just because it puts everything else in place. And I can turn it. These. 6 of them. All right. I don't know why, but this bit seems to be the hardest one to work with. Let's see, 40 people. I'm sure I'm boring some people to death, but hey, for those people that are still here, did Shides ever show up? He did. Did you talk to him? Okay. Shides sent a very nice note today, so I appreciated it. And for those members that haven't reached out with addresses, reach out. Other members that have gotten them, is it worth it? Is it worth it that you gave me your address? No, I married her because she was hot. Well, I was talking about when I married her, not how I feel about her now. Anyway, that's a true way of using that word. But no, she has a mind of her own, and I did not want to marry somebody that was just going to agree with everything I said. I dated plenty of those girls, and I got bored with them. So I knew what I wanted. Okay. Now it's going back to the plate. Wrong way. Oh, no, not yet. Oops. Not quite. Oh, no, it is yet. Yeah, because that's those screws go in there. Oh, man. Do not encourage her on that one. There we go. We're almost there. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's the wrong one. See, if I had a Linus screwdriver, it'd go so much faster. Not that he watches my videos or anything.
Everyone says like screwdriver's trash.
No, they don't. I don't know. King loves his Linus screwdriver. I know Panda loves his too. The difference is I think Panda got his for free. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Oop, wrong bit. Need the other bit. I wouldn't die, but I wouldn't live anywhere near as well. Let's just put it that way. Let's put it this way. We make a good team. There are things that I bring to the relationship. There's things that she brings to the relationship. And it has always been that way. I don't hear any eyes rolling over there, so I think I'm okay with what I just said. And my son was chuckling at that last remark. Let's see. Isn't that Panda's B-I-L? Oh. Not that I'm aware of. I do not believe that they're related. Yeah, they're both Canadian. Yes, they are both Canadian. All right. All the screws are gone. So I used all the screws. Just got to put this back on. I haven't missed anything, right? You guys wouldn't let me put the last thing on. Why are you not going in easily? It's the same backplate, so why are you giving me trouble? What the heck? What is the problema? Is something not screwed down far enough? They all look like they're screwed down far enough. Those are the two that would be a problem if it was a problem. Why are you not lining up? No, it's not that. It's the... That hasn't moved. Although that's a different part. Let me try using the other backplate. Maybe that's why. All right, this I gotta separate. There it is. Come on. Oh. If that doesn't work? Right. What the hell? Okay. Just trying to do it the hard way. There we go. All right, let's see if this works now. Because maybe the pins didn't line up perfectly. Oh, it's like... Yeah, it's like these are too long. I can tell where it's supposed to go. Come on. I mean, there we go. Got it that time. Like I had to like bend it, but it's like this one's like really, really like nice and flush. Weird. But okay. Yeah, weird. All right. That was just that. Moving a little bit. Okay. So I heard a little bit of a click and I was like, wait a minute, what? But no. Just making sure. Seem to spin nicely. All right. I'll be back. This is like watching a circumcision. Nobody wants to do it, but here we are. What are we transplanting? Indica or sativa? Both those words sound like familiar, but I can't even remember what the hell those were. Yeah, maybe. All right, I will be back. Entertain them.
No, it's not my job.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about her. All right, I'll be back in less than 5. I haven't gotten the midstream thing yet. I'm back. All right. Let's see how we're doing. Yes, you will not be seeing anything because, yeah. Let me start moving some stuff around here, cleaning some of this crap up. That. This needs to go over there. These need to get put away. I might use this thermo putty later. This other stuff is garbage. Okay. Put that over there. All right. Now let me log back into this machine. All right. Let's see where we are at. Actually, what I'm going to do first, just do a comparable. I am going to, well, first of all, no. All right, now, there we go. That's what I want to do. And then NV top. Yes! 62! 62! That's what I'm talking about. And going down because it was mining it higher. So now let's see where it's at when it is mining at full bore. Let's do that. Oh, sorry. Wow. That sucks. Sorry. You didn't even see that. I will go back before I change this. There we go. All right. Let me change my camera back. 62. Actually, it's down to 60 now. Yes. I love it when things work out. Success. Now let's put that back up to full bore. And do that. 450. And NV top. Yeah, hey, you know what? It's a series. It's a series.
Never have seen it.
Yeah. Well, if one of my other ones do it, I suppose you'll have to see it, but
We need to buy a different paste then, because I'm tired of trying to go.
that paste is the best. I have one more left. But yeah, it's not fun to work. It's not fun to get on there, but all right. So now we are mining at 450 watts. I am at 69 degrees C. That is nice. Very nice. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy. Now, that card still, with the expenses I put into it, let's see. Let's say $20 for, it was actually probably $30 total for the paste and the pads. The PTM 7950. And then probably another $20 for the thermal pads I tried. So that's 50. And then another 125 for the actual cooler. So for less than $200, I fixed a 4090. And this cost me, that 4090 cost me $1,300. So I still bought it for under. I know what I've learned. I'm curious what you guys think we've learned. I've learned that, yes, the actual vapor chamber can fail. That's what I learned. Why? What were you getting at Bacon, Eggs, and Hash? Pads like tampon. It's sour diesel. But yeah, I'm thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled. It is mining at less than 70 degrees C. That is the whole, that switching out the cooler changed it by 20 degrees C. 20 degrees. Rizzo says, is the contact surface on the heatsink for the die made of aluminum or copper? I think it's copper, but I don't know. I think it's I don't know, aluminum covered copper, I think. I'm not really sure. I didn't really look into that. That it's cheaper to repair than to sell and buy again. Yes, exactly. That was my point. Thank you. That was for you, Yusuf, if you're still here. That was for you. Thank you. And I didn't even have to make the point. One of my viewers did. So I appreciate that. And what else do we learn? That I need to get new tweezers. Because I must have bent these at some point doing something. I'm guessing I was probably doing something that wasn't supposed to be done with a tweezer. And I bent the end. Yeah. That's a different stream. So, sweet. I am so happy. I got to put this sucker back online. And I got to set prices. So now I can set a more reasonable price. Oh, look at that. I have thermal paste on my wrist rest. Not sure how I did that. But I did it somehow. I'll have to try to wipe that off with something. With something. Here, I'll show you. I did good work. I did really good work. Oh, and it shows you up even more on stream, too. I really have no idea how I did that. Everything was pointing up. I didn't have anything pointing down. Not really sure how I did that. But whatever. All right. So, his stuff gets everywhere. You are correct, Vinny. Rizzo says, you know, the heat pipes are copper and they are in contact with the aluminum. They can react and corrode. Maybe the issue with that particular heat sink failing in manufacturing. Yeah, that's basically what I had heard, was that all heat sinks can fail, and sometimes they can try to make it too flat and wear it too long, and then it doesn't have enough material, and then eventually it ends up with a hole. You know, the underside eats through it at some point. So, but we'll see how long this one works. You know, Swamp 7 had these because he had swapped over to liquid coolers. So, that might be a move I might make in the future at some point, but only if there's a reason to. Right now, there's not really a reason to, because I've already bought everything to get it set up the way it is, and it's running just fine. All right. With that said, let me try not to get that paste anywhere else. What do I want to put this one at? We'll do 0.28. See if I get anything, and then 0.1. And then internet at 0.5, 0.25. All right. And then change the times. I know you guys can't see this, but I'm just doing this quickly so that I can get it back online. List. All right. It is now listed. Sweet. But yeah, it's nice. It's mining it. Now it's mining at 68. Oh, wow. Did it get picked up already? Oh, I know why. Because the job I have on it, the set job, I have it set at 0.09 and I set the minimum at 0.1. So it lost. All right. Putting it back on. All right. And then we'll see where it goes to. Make sure it still stays there. But I am so happy. So happy that that got done. Yeah, winter steak dinner. I've been eating a lot of steak dinners lately because I'm on keto. So, yeah, and trying to drink a lot of water, that's my struggle. I need to drink more water. But I'm trying to get to where I've lost 10% of my weight. Not quite there yet. Only a couple pounds off. So, and then keep going. Easily want to lose 20% of my weight, like without question. And probably closer to about 30%. So, but looking at trying to get milestones along the way. Little small wins to keep me motivated. All right. So the last thing I was going to talk about was remotely. So I'll take you kind of through what I did. Let me hang on a second. Let me make sure there's not, the problem with doing this is that there could be like things that I might not want people to see. Let me do this. Yeah, it's got, I'm going to have to, like, when I do the video, I'm going to have to like take out IP addresses and stuff. It has only my internal ones, but I'd rather not even show those. But I will tell you what my challenges were. I had all my VLANs set up in Unraid. The problem was getting them set up for a Docker is more challenging and not well documented. So what I ended up having to do when I was setting up the Docker container is that I had to, the biggest thing was I had to enable, shoot, what was it called? Yeah, I'm going to have to like go back through this. Like I'm adding a new one and figure out what it was, but there was a, shoot, where is it? Oh, you know what? It's because I have it on basic. I have to set it on advanced view. So yeah, it ended up being a network type that was custom, because it was a VLAN. And then the other thing I had to do, where is it? Maybe it doesn't show here. Yeah, it doesn't show unless I'm trying to make one, but there's a setting specific that you're enabling custom networks basically. And if you don't do that, then the custom network doesn't do anything. So once I had the custom network set up properly with the DHCP set, like not set and just do it static. Now the one bad thing, and I know that there's a way around this. I haven't done it yet. I got to figure out exactly how to do it because I haven't done it in a really long time. But yeah, it has a static IP address. The problem is that the router will route it, but it doesn't show up in its mapping table. So in other words, if it wants to assign an IP address, it could possibly assign something else to that same IP address. So that's the only bad thing. So I'll have to eventually figure out how to, if I'm adding more things, I should probably make sure I know how to have that show up in the router. But yeah, it's a .56 at the end. And when I look in the router, at least the last time I looked in the router, the .56 was not there. And I'm actually going to go in here just to double check it again. And do I still have it done by, yeah, I still have it done by that. Yeah, it still doesn't show up. It goes from the other VLAN to .57 of the VLAN I'm in. And this is .56. So it doesn't show up under clients. So, well, again, it's not getting the actual lease. Well, it's not getting assigned. It's not dynamic. I didn't set it up as dynamic. So, like I said, yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I know that there's a way around it. Right now it's working, so I'm not worried about it. But it was kind of cool. I got it working. Let me see if I can find it, show you what it looks like. And yeah, those are fine. It doesn't show IP addresses or anything. Well, it will eventually. I'll just show you what it looks like. So this is what the interface looks like. And here's, I have, well, I really have 6 because this guy I might as well get rid of. It doesn't work with Linux because the Linux that I have is server. It doesn't have a GUI interface, so it doesn't really work with that. I'd have to like click this and then go down here to terminal and then enter in a terminal command, which I haven't been able to really get to work, but that's not really why I did this. I did it mainly for Salad. If I'm going to do something like that, I'll probably find a different SSH client rather than using command line or using the command.exe that you get in Windows or using PuTTY, there's some other really good SSH. So I'm going to actually do a video on that as well. It just makes it a lot easier to go from one interface to the other. With Putty, you can save some things. So you have like a list instead of having like individual like sessions that you can just click on, and tabs and stuff. So you know how I love tabs. So yeah, that is my plan to do that one as well. All right, let me, I'll just minimize this so I can get back to this. All right, well, I've been going an hour and a half. Let's see what else. You guys have any questions? I know for those people that might have come in late, if you guys have any tax questions regarding the changes, let me know. I do have a link to Koinly in the description. If you have never used Koinly before, you may have to pay for a subscription in order to get that change with the Safe Harbor Act. But the one thing is that if you've ever paid for Koinly in a previous year, they will do it for you, regardless of whether or not you paid for the current year or not. So I have paid for the current year. I don't know if they still have the deal going. I was able to get 30% off. I know there's been deals that have been up to 50% off, but I really wanted to get it before the end of the year to try to sell the Bitcoin long-term capital gains that I have. But like I said, I still haven't been able to figure out how to make sure that it allocates only those long-term capital gains. Lots, that is. So, alrighty. Well, if there is nothing else, sorry, it was a relatively boring stream, but man, at least it came out good. Had a good result. Had a very good result. God, that's so awesome. So let me, all right. So I showed you remotely. Like I said, I'm going to do a video on that. But yeah, it is mining full bore now at 67. So one of the things with PTM 7950 is it takes a bit to set. So having the temperature come down is not unusual. So it's actually, I mean, it was mining at 450 watts at 88C, but it was basically throttling it down to about 365 watts. So it's mining 20 degrees C less, over 20 degrees C less, and at 450 watts. So yeah. So again, thank you Swamp7 for doing that. I know I purchased it from you, but you made it easy and you got it to me quick and you made me a great deal. So I really appreciate that. Swamp7 is also the one that helps me run these background jobs because he has a Docker repository, and I'm using things out of his Docker repository that he has allowed me to use. So again, thanks to him for that. And anyway, alrighty. Well, Vinny, I appreciate that. I don't quite feel that way, but it was definitely different. That's one of the things I'm trying to do this year, is trying to do things a little bit different. I mean, obviously you can see I'm setting up the stream differently to try to be a little bit more, you know, make it look a little bit more interesting. Let's see if anybody. Oh, I have one person that showed up over in Twitch. Well, two if you count my son. But
Sorry, I messed up the chat. Somebody got not rowdy, but you've truly made it. You had your first bot.
Oh, I had a bot on Twitch. Woohoo!
I can show you the exact text. It was,
No, that's fine. So I had more than one then at one point.
No, it only counts as one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you. He's my moderator for Twitch, and he's doing his job as he should be. Now I know I heard him say, I'm a mod and I take my job seriously. I heard him say, I'm like, what is he talking about? Now I know what he's talking about. He's talking about.
My job seriously. I just said I was doing my job.
Oh, he said he was doing his job. Sorry, whatever. But anyway, with that, I will call it a night. I appreciate it. I'm glad Bacon, Eggs, and Hash that you enjoy the repasting. And I think I had some doubters out there that maybe this wasn't going to work. I even think I had some people rooting against me. I'm okay with that. We root against Panda all the time. So I'm perfectly okay with that. But I appreciate you guys all being along for the ride. And you should definitely see some content by next Monday. Might even do a live stream on New Year's Day. Will not be doing one on New Year's Eve. I have to work tomorrow from 6:30 in the morning until 6 at night. Now, I say that I have to still be there at 6:15, and I won't get out of there until after 6:15. So it's a nice 12-hour shift on New Year's Eve, because my boss and my supervisor both have the day off. Now, I let my supervisor have a day off because he has floating holiday left. He asked me today. I said, yes, absolutely. So I'm glad he's able to take the day off, especially considering he's been covering for me for a week. So totally okay with that. All right. It's definitely time to go because I am rambling more than usual. So thank you guys for all being here. I appreciate it. And we will see you next Monday and hopefully in between with a little bit of content. All right. General is out. Have a good night, everybody.